Hello everyone and welcome to something a little bit different, something I'm not used to doing. I'm here today with my boy Leon.
Hello!
Well, you got really loud there. So we are going to do a podcast. For those of you that don't know, a podcast is just basically an unedited long chat. So we could be here for like an hour and a half.
3 hours.
49 years. Who knows? But none of this will be edited. It will all be in one big chunk. Fresh in your face. There'll be a lot of sort of rambling and us going on
but we like to think
different
that's what
tangents.
we're best at.
We are, yeah.
That's our thing.
So yeah, I've decided to call it Two Nerds Make a Podcast because it's two nerds making a podcast.
That's true, yeah.
Basically, we're just gonna chat about lots of nerdy stuff, like video games, films, TV, that sort of
Things
stuff.
that are going on. I swear neither of us needed to cough before
we started this, yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. Obviously, if you're not into that sort of stuff, then stick around. You might enjoy us talking about different things.
Great advertising. If you don't like this sort of thing, then, listen to it anyway.
Go through hell for it. It's really good. So I won't actually have like a camera or anything on this. I'll probably put up different pictures so you see what we're talking about.
Though by now you already know that because you're already about a minute in.
Yeah. But yeah, this is sort of our first time doing this. So obviously, if the audio's like a bit weird, then we'll sort it out for the next one. We're using one microphone for both of us, whereas what we should be doing is using two, which we will do very soon. Maybe
we're just unprepared.
We are unprepared. I was like, Leon, come round, and he was like, okay, and I was like, we're filming a podcast. He was like, okay.
So what's happened, Kai?
Well. I guess we should just sort of, just start by saying that, this will be a nerdy podcast. I want to get some people in on it, people we know.
Famous people.
Well, I was thinking more friends. But
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, he'll be here next week. I want to get some friends in, nerdy friends that I talk to about things, see if they can talk to us for a bit. And it'll just sort of be a conversation rather than us trying to be funny. Well, we'll try and be entertaining, but
well, we've got some topics. We've kind of got things
we went through some stuff, picked what we can talk about, give our opinions on that, and I guess I listen to podcasts quite a bit when I'm like playing video games that I don't really need to pay much attention to, or if I'm like tidying or something, or even like walking to school. Sometimes I'll listen to like a podcast or something.
If you've got anything like that to do today, maybe just
stick us on.
Yeah, stick us on. Us boys.
Yeah. Or if you just, you're doing work or something, you just want some company. Hello, we're here.
Fall asleep to our voices,
ASMR with Kai and Leon.
Hey, it's Kai and Leon.
Yeah.
We just really want you to enjoy our podcast.
Tap, tippity tap. So on the screen right now, I will put time cues of different things we talk about.
Those are good time cues.
Yeah, do you like them? So basically, if, say, for example, we talk about Star Wars and you're like, oh, I don't really like Star Wars, but I like this video game that they're talking about, then you can click forward to that bit. Obviously, if you just want to listen to all of it and hear our beautiful voices, then feel free to.
We won't blame you.
No, I won't blame him.
No.
So click on, or I don't know if you'll be able to click, but just scroll forward to the times that are on the screen.
I think you can normally do a little link.
I can. I need to work out how to do that. But
we'll work on that, guys.
Yeah, but hopefully these will become sort of maybe like a weekly, monthly thing. Just sort of depends on when we're free.
Immediately taking all responsibility away from yourself. Oh, we'll do them occasionally one day.
But right. So let's get started. I'm trying to think.
Topic?
Well, what's the best thing? We have like a list, and I feel like we should have put them in like an order. Yeah. I'll put them on my laptop so you can see. There we go.
So we've done that introduction.
We've done the introduction. We can.
I think we go in. I think we start with what's that? Fourth from the bottom one.
Fourth, 1, 2.
It's just 2 letters.
DW.
Yeah.
Should we start with that one?
Yeah.
So if you watch some of my videos, Leon, you don't.
I don't know. I'm not a fan unless I'm in them.
Yeah. So I said at the beginning of the year in like my New Year's resolutions video thing, I was like, oh, I want to write a script by the end of the year, whether that's like a singular episode of a thing I create or a film or a trilogy, whatever. I don't care. I want to write a script. And sort of occasionally I switch between things I want to write about. So recently I've been like, oh, Star Wars, I'm going to write a Star Wars thing. I might turn to like I want to write a Marvel thing. But at the moment, I am in a Doctor Who-y mood.
I've never really partaken in
You haven't?
the old Doctor Who.
I tried to get you involved. But
Christopher Eccleston's one was good, and I've watched a few of the old Tennant ones.
yeah.
But other than that, I've never really kind of gotten in.
Yeah, I've tried to like get you into it, but you're not really too.
I don't see the appeal.
Yeah, fair. It's like you like sci-fi, but not.
Yeah,
that
no,
sort of
I enjoy
sci-fi.
kind of like fighty sci-fi. It's a bit passive for me.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I was like, I'm in a bit of a Doctor Who mood, and I've had like ideas for scripts for stuff for like Doctor Who and like different ideas, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I'll write that down. But yeah, I want to write some script for Doctor Who. But the problem with me is, unless I have a reason to do it, I kind of struggle to commit myself to something. And with Doctor Who, it's like I don't really have the money or the technology or the people to to do like a Doctor Who TV series for my channel or anything. But then I came up with an idea. So the Doctor Who people, the BBC, have audio dramas, which is kind of like an audio book, or like a podcast, one would say. Except it's like the episode just plays out, it's people talking and they have sound effects, but you don't actually see it, you just listen to it. And I was like, well, that's a really cool idea, because it means I don't have to pay money to do anything. I could have the whole world explode, and all it is a sound effect. It's not like
you don't actually have to like animate
blow up
it
the
or
world
anything,
to do it. But
it'd be easier for us to actually blow up the world than to animate the world blowing up.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I can do that. All I need to do is get people that can do voice acting. Leon,
hello, it's me.
But yeah, I've got some episodes planned. I've begun writing a couple of them. But yeah, hopefully, maybe in the near distant future, when I have more time on my hands to write, you might have like a Doctor Who audio drama come up, which is fun. It's exciting. I like writing scripts. They're fun.
And you know, the scripts you've written are good.
Oh, thanks, boy.
That's alright, boy.
I think I've sent you one, haven't I?
You did, yeah, and I skimmed it.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of stuff. I'm a very busy person, but I had time to kind of have a peek.
It's a bit like, because the only obviously like with an audio drama you don't have to like build sets and do stuff. But it's finding like the right people to do things. So I'm trying to write it without thinking about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm writing characters, and I'm like, who would I actually have do that?
Yeah, like
voice?
You've got to find people you know. You can't. Really...
Yeah, like I'd like to do the Doctor. I feel like that'd be fun, because the way
That's
I'm.
your thing, you know.
Well, it's like the way I'm writing it as well is like that's how I would do the Doctor. That's
just you,
very odd, doesn't it?
It's just you.
It's just me being sarcastic and doing stuff. But it's like the companion at the moment is a female, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea. I don't know who I'd get to do it, but so I was like, oh, maybe, yeah, maybe, who knows?
I don't know if she's a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, so we have like friends who can do it and stuff. I was like, oh, maybe I'll change it to a guy, and then I can get Leon to do it. But then I was like, I don't know.
It's alright, I can do a female voice.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think the one I wrote was like a little. I guess this. I don't know if I'll actually do this episode. It was more just like the first one I did was a Christmassy episode, and there was 2 doctors. And I was like, excellent, this can be like a little trial run. It can just be me and Leon. Leon plays one of them, I play the other, and we just bounce off of each other and see how it goes. Yeah. But I don't think we ever got around to doing it. So
no, we'll work on it at some point. Now that they're kind of a solid idea, we can go from here.
And this isn't me announcing anything. This is just me going, this is an idea I have.
This is a official announcement. I want the
I'm
screen
definitely
to light
doing
up with
this.
official announcement warnings.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fun. I'm enjoying like coming up with ideas, and I don't know, I find Doctor Who easy to write. I feel like because I've watched it for a long time, whereas something like Star Wars, which honestly I probably prefer over Doctor Who, I just struggle to write because I'm writing it going, nah, this isn't Star Warsy enough. Whereas you could literally do anything with Doctor Who.
Well, it's the real world, a lot of it.
It's the real world, and if it isn't, it's all of space, all of time. You can literally do whatever you want.
Can do pretty much anything.
So I feel like I have more creative freedom with that. Whereas with Star Wars, I'm like, oh, does that fit? Is that
you gotta fit the lore.
And every time I like try to create something from Star Wars, I'm like, so there's a guy and he's disappeared. And it will appear at the very end of this film. And they find him, and this girl's Force sensitive. No, it's just The Force Awakens.
Every time we just accidentally predict one of the movies.
Yeah, we did. We predicted.
Well, maybe not the entire movie.
No, at the beginning of last year, me and Leon like came up with ideas of what we'd want to happen in Star Wars, and as we were like writing them down, I was like, this genuinely seems like pretty
Yeah, like this could
what's
be
the
a
word I'm
movie.
looking for? Like it could be a
Like
thing.
genuine. It's,
Yeah. And I was like, if someone come up to me and showed me this, I'd be like, yeah, that's a thing. But
I believe that's the new script.
yeah,
I'm not saying we're amazing.
no,
scriptwriters,
it was just the ideas we were
actually
coming up
wrote
with.
a good script.
Yeah, and all of it was wrong. Nothing happened, I don't think, apart from one thing, which was oddly very specific.
Which thing was it?
So, in The Last Jedi...
Spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, it's been like a couple of months now, so you should have watched it. But basically, in The Last Jedi, Captain Phasma and Finn have a fight. And Finn hits her helmet, and part of her helmet breaks, and you see her face. And in the ideas that me and Leon had, one of our ideas was
Exactly that.
literally, I think it was Finn. I think she gets blown up. So there's like an explosion and it destroys half of her helmet and you see her face.
So when I say we predicted the entire movie, maybe not the
No,
entire
but
movie.
it was just, it was a very weird sort of like specific moment of that's really odd that we managed to think that was going to happen. Especially in like, The Last Jedi is the second film of 3. So you'd expect it to happen in the last one.
Yeah, no, it was a really weird little moment.
Yeah, it was like, because
is she dead?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Really?
she's dead. Yeah.
That's a shame.
But yeah, no, it was. I was watching the film and like it happened, and I was like, oh, that's like cool. You see Phasma, and it was like a couple of weeks later, and I was like,
Wait,
I'm
so-
pretty sure we predicted that. We
Yeah.
said this was going to happen, and I found the document. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Maybe in one podcast we'll go through the ideas we thought might happen.
See if anything comes up in whatever the last one's called.
Yeah, and
Do we have a name for
no,
the
it's just episode 9 at the moment. But you can all see that actually it was a pretty solid like idea. It wasn't like fan fiction up the arse. It was more just
Maybe they saw on a document and they were like, oh, that's good.
that's good. We'll just steal that
the
one
rest
bit.
is all rubbish, but that can go in.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So Doctor Who might happen. I'd like to. It'd be fun just to try like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of it, even if nobody watches or listens to it.
It's more a confidence thing. For you,
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's
'cause
just-
then you've got
It's
something.
one
out.
of my things that I wrote that's out there, and people are watching like, wow, that's really good. Or they could go, what the did you just write? That's awful.
Well, it's feedback either way.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that I put down that I wanted to talk about.
There's one item off the list.
That's
Tick
one of
there.
them. Yeah. Leon, you wanted to talk about something.
Which thing? Oh, I've gotten very close to the mic.
There you go. You wanted to talk about that one.
I wanted to talk about a bit of video gaming here.
Yeah. We'll stick
I
to the
wanted
video
talk
game
about-
thing once you've finished on this one.
Yeah. I want to talk about Middle-earth Shadow of War and its new DLC, because you haven't actually played Shadow of War.
I haven't. I've played Shadow of Mordor and I've 100%ed it.
Which I thought was ridiculous, because
It's
a
a
massive
very
game.
long game, yeah. I 100%ed it, but I wasn't very interested in Shadow of War. I'm not too sure why. I feel like it looks very similar to Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, I'll lend it to you. I finished it. It's great. But the DLC they've announced is essentially you play as kind of the captain of the guard, the new guy, and it's really strange because you essentially get a load of technology where you can kind of grapple around, because obviously you can't do all the cool ghosty things that you could as Talion. But you zip around. You have like cool folding shields, and you. Right, remember in The Hobbit, those giant desert worm things?
Yeah.
They were in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
in
that's
the
cool.
DLC. I don't know how you would beat one of those, especially not having ghosty powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the DLC is really interesting.
That's good.
I think you should play Shadow of War, because it was the bonds you create with your orcs.
Yeah, I will get around to it. It's just I don't know. I feel like once I get like an interest, when I finally go, actually, yeah, that looks fun. But it's one of those where, because it's such a big game, it's kind of, as an example, like Skyrim, you kind of have to be in the mind frame. You can't just play
Yeah,
Skyrim.
it's a bit daunting. 'Cause you're like, oh, if
Yeah.
I start now, I'm gonna have to do the entire.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you're like, no, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to play for the next 6 years of my life. Then,
That's what happened to you with Skyrim.
yeah, I haven't stopped. But yeah, no, like once I go, yeah, no, Shadow of War definitely. Then
Yeah, that was a shorter one, but yeah, no, I thought that was just a bit of because that was what 2 days before we filmed this,
yeah,
recorded this,
yeah, I'll probably put this up
And-
fairly soon.
and someone 100% of the game like yesterday. Like,
Wow,
it's
that's crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah, but nowadays there are so many.
Oh yeah,
gamers
people
that-
just take days off and do things, or just do it for a living,
which
is
I am very jealous of. I
Yeah.
wish I could do that,
just
but unfortunately, I don't have any days on to be able to take on.
yeah, yeah. Well, who
Right,
knows,
yeah.
Leon? This podcast might kick off and we get
Oh.
money for it and
Yeah,
sponsors.
that
and
sounds great.
Yeah. So while we're on the video game news, I feel like just so we can date this podcast, There's a Fortnite Battle Royale. You're probably all sick of it if you do YouTube or watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I
don't play, but everyone around me plays.
Everyone plays Fortnite at the moment. It's I play it. It's a very good game. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I'll play a bit like online with you, but not to the level of like.
I play.
Ever won on my own.
No, it's the only game I play at the moment. Really, it's just one of those. It's such an easy game to pick up, but it's also kind of hard to win. It's a good challenge.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have a story, so you can if you don't know what you're like, don't know what you're in the mood for, you can be like, oh, I'll play a bit. I'll play a bit of Fortnite,
yeah. So it's a really good game because they update it every week, every 2 weeks. So they're always adding new stuff and taking stuff out, and they add new game modes. So basically, the gist of the game is you have 100 people. You all drop on an island, and you have to be the last man standing. And some of the modes they've had are like 50 people versus 50 people, and the last team wins. And there was like 5 teams of 20, and that was really cool.
Then, if this is the first you're hearing of Fortnite, then stop listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you
there
should
are
probably...
more important things you can check out on the internet.
Yeah,
you've really missed out on a lot of places.
But the new game mode that they've just released, which it's cool. Leon, you don't actually you wanted to hear about this.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, I've told Leon to not look at it because I wanted to get his reaction on podcast.
Okay.
So there's this new game mode. Fortnite have teamed up with Marvel because of the new Infinity War film. There'll be no spoilers here, don't worry.
Which I also haven't seen. So
Leon hasn't seen it. I have, spoilers. But it's good. It's a good film. In this new game mode, it's standard Fortnite, so it's 100 people, except the starting ring is a bit smaller.
Right.
And you land in the ring. You do your stuff, you get your guns and things. And I think it's about after a minute, a meteor comes down from the sky and hits one part of the area of the ring that you're in. And that thing that lands is the Infinity Gauntlet, which is like really good and powerful.
Yeah, no, I know of that. Yeah.
And so you go and get the Infinity Gauntlet, and basically the first person that gets it, you become Thanos.
That's a big deal.
That's a pretty big deal. And then if you kill Thanos, then if you pick up the gauntlet, then you can become Thanos.
Right.
So essentially, it's still 100 people. But once you just have to be the last person standing. But obviously, if the last person is you and Thanos, then you're gonna die.
You're not gonna play Thanos.
So Thanos is cool because he's very strong. He can punch through walls. I think it's 2 punches and you're dead if you get hit by him. He can jump really high, which is fun as well. You can jump.
Fly?
Not quite. He can hover, which is fun. And you have a big laser that you can shoot at people.
Oh my.
He's quite slow though, like he's running, which is a bit of a pain. It's a bit clunky. He also has 700 shield, which can regenerate.
Oh my god.
And I think 700 health, which can't regenerate. So if you're on like 1 health, but like 700 shield, once they get... you've still got a good chance of winning.
There's a mod.
I'll probably put some sort of gameplay on at the moment behind this, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's fun, but it would be more fun if it was like 99 people against Thanos and he was just very OP and could easily take people out. Yeah. But because you're like playing normal Fortnite, it just happens that Thanos is there. It's more like there've been a couple of times where I'll run to kill Thanos and I'll get shot from just another player, and it's like, but we should be teaming up to try and take Thanos out, not teaming against each other.
Which is the entire, as I understand, the plot of Infinity War. Everyone teaming up to fight Thanos.
Yeah. So it would have been fun. There was one bit that I wish was in it, and this is just a comic book spoiler. I'm not saying if this is in the film or if it isn't or not, because there's a lot of stuff from the comics that wasn't in the film, and there's a lot of stuff from the comics that is in the film. In the comics, once Thanos gets all the Infinity Stones, he can click his finger, and I think it's like half of everything gets wiped out, like half the universe, like the population.
Why would he want that?
It basically, in the comics, you have this character called Death, which is actually Death, and he wants to he falls in love with her, and he wants to prove to her that he's like worthy and stuff. So he's like, I'm going to kill all these people to impress you, and that's why he's doing it. His motivations are a bit different in the film. I won't say why or
not
what.
Being in love with Death and wanting to kill her.
No.
Surely that would make Death's job a pain in the ass for all.
Yeah.
If half of every living being in the universe, especially the Marvel universe, which is full of aliens.
Yeah.
It's like Death suddenly got loads of paperwork to do.
I thought what would be a really cool thing is maybe if you play as Thanos for a certain amount of time, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, once you hit that 3-minute mark, you can press a button and he clicks his fingers and he wipes out half the players on the map.
Oh, but it'd be such a pain in the
But
ass.
this was my idea. Obviously, it'd be a pain in the ass if you were like 20 kills, the best guns, and you're the one that gets wiped out.
Yeah.
But a guy who has nothing and is camping is alive. I thought maybe, I don't know if like they can do it whilst playing Fortnite, but like say the bottom half of people are like wiped out. So say the least amount of kills or something, or the least amount of points.
Or maybe he clicks his fingers and the circle shrinks around him.
Oh,
So then loads of people are immediately stuck in the circle, and you're
that
like,
would be a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah, and maybe the circle, like, because you have a storm that comes in if you haven't played Fortnite, and that it gets everyone in the same place. That would be a good idea, and maybe the storm does more damage than usual, just so it wipes them out quicker. That'd be a good idea,
But
actually.
you've still got a chance. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
immediate death.
Yeah, because I guess you could kind of use that as an advantage, where it's like you and the last person, you just go, clicking my fingers and you're dead. But so yeah, that's a thing. I do wish they had the clicky fingers thing, and I wish it was kind of a whole team against Thanos. That'd be more fun.
Or like it does something like bring everyone down to half health if they weren't there already, or something.
Yeah, that should be a good idea. Yeah, just something that was
something to add to the Thanos.
Yeah, because it's all good playing as Thanos, but like you kind of got more chance of surviving if you're not him. So that was the Thanos chat.
Another one ticked off. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So this is another video game bit of news. I'm gonna take a drink. Leon, State of Decay 2.
Oh, Kai, State of Decay 2. I am hyped. I'm more than hyped. I'm so excited for it. There are so many incredible features that they brought over from the old game, and loads of cool stuff they've added, like the multiplayer. Like if you've played State of Decay, the first game, the main thing. Karen.
No, I was just gonna say, do you want to explain State of Decay just for people that don't know?
So like essentially, you begin the game kind of on a little camping trip, and zombies happen. You've been out of the world, and the world's been taken over by zombies, and you build up a little community of survivors. It's pretty open. You can pretty much do what you want. You can choose who comes into your community. You can kick people out. You can do all this cool stuff. There's a main plot, and all the characters are they've been designed. But in this new game, there is no main plot. That's like the main thing they said.
Yeah.
All the characters are generated. There are like 1,000 different traits they can have that they choose from, and they've added multiplayer, which was the main thing.
Yeah, I think the first one had it, but it wasn't.
No, it didn't have multiplayer.
Oh, did it not?
No, and
Okay.
no multiplayer, which is what everyone was like. We need a good zombie game with multiplayer. At the moment.
I guess the last sort of really good zombie game that came out with multiplayer was probably Left 4 Dead, like Left 4 Dead 2.
People are saying like State of Decay came out like when there was that big influx of zombie games, and it was one that wasn't multiplayer, which is what people were looking for.
It's an awkward time for sort of the topic of zombies, really, because it is sort of dying out a bit. It was more in like sort of a couple of years ago. Mainly, I guess when The Walking Dead came out, like the TV series,
when that was a big thing.
that's when it became quite big, and then towards sort of 2015, 2016, it kind of died out a little bit.
I think this game on its own could bring it back. That's how how much faith I put in
See,
this
the
game.
thing is, I played the first State of Decay, and I didn't enjoy it much. However, I will say that the second one does look good, and I will get it.
It's got multiplayer, so we can play together.
Exactly.
Might be some videos of that. We're not sure.
But I feel like I've seen quite a few bad reviews of the first one, and I feel like because of the reviews of the first one, the second one might not be as popular.
I think it's.
If The Walking Dead was on the topic of The Walking Dead, if The Walking Dead was very good still, if it was still at like its peak and it had so many people watching it every week, then I honestly I would say that it would be one of the popular games of this year.
Yeah.
But
But zombies as a trend.
zombies has just sort of died out a bit, which is quite ironic, really, isn't it?
But the one thing that worries me about State of Decay 2,
Yeah,
which I have told you.
This was something we found out today, and I'm a bit gutted because it looked very open. What I'm trying to say is without saying what it is.
Yeah.
It looked very like you could do whatever you wanted. Like Leon could be in one part of the place, and he could do his little bit, and I could be on the other side
And
collecting things.
I could call Kai and be like, Kai, come and get me.
Come
I'm being
help me,
attacked by
yeah.
zombies. And unfortunately, they've restricted multiplayer to tethering, which means you can only be something like 400 meters away from each other, which is kind of understandable because they don't want to have to load the entire map all at once and fill it with zombies.
it's fair. However, I think the way that they've been advertising the game as like this big open world, you can do whatever you want.
It's a real hit.
It's
really
disappointing. It seems like their main sales point has kind of gone a bit out the window. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm really disappointed. I'm still getting it. I've pre-ordered
yeah,
it.
I can understand why they've put it in if it is a big game, and because
something like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I feel like with Grand Theft Auto though, you can drive around and you do what you want, but there's not much you can do. Whereas in this, I feel like you're collecting stuff, you're like crafting things. There's a lot of stuff in the game,
items and
which I feel like is
things.
why they've probably done that. But it's not even like it would have made more sense if they were like, right, we're going to split up the map into 4 areas, and you can't walk from the first area into the second area. There'll be like a loading screen, but you can go wherever you want in this first, like this area.
They have got 3 maps, 3 like regions you can go in, like Shadow of Mordor. Kind of, they had that massive.
Oh
maps.
yeah,
It's
but
like that kind
it's
of.
the 400 meters. That's not far.
Yeah, well, people said it was before it was, they thought it was 150 meters, which would have been, I think,
that would have been awful. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it's going to be a lot more. I think in gameplay, if you're thinking about it, then you'll be like, oh, I can't go far away.
Yeah.
But if you suddenly forget about it, it'll be fine. You won't ever have to go that far, I don't think.
What I'll do as like a little example of tethering in video games is I'll put up like a gameplay of multiplayer Lego Star Wars, just so you can sort of have an idea of what it's like.
Yeah.
It's a bit different because you will be able to go off the screen.
Yeah, but it essentially just means you won't be able to go too far away from your multiplayer partner.
Yeah.
Before the game just stops you, which is a real shame because it doesn't happen in modern video games very often.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Like games like Lego Star Wars, fine, that's kind of understandable. The way the games.
Well, that came out, years ago as well, which is.
Do they have tethering in Force Awakens? Or?
Not in the new one. Not in any of the new Lego games. Lego games, you can literally go wherever you want, which is. Yeah, that's comparing. But you don't. I mean, the content of State of Decay is obviously so much more than.
Yeah, and you've got zombies everywhere. And...
Yeah, exactly. If it's like you're in a compact space where there's like maybe you're in a city and there's lots of buildings, so you're never really drifting too far apart, I can understand it.
But I think if you're playing multiplayer with someone, you'll end up staying within 4
Yeah, definitely. It's more one of those where, like, say for example, we got absolutely, let's just say we're in a building, we're like looking for stuff, and there's a horde that comes in and they're all attacking, and this was the example I used with Leon earlier, was I escape, but Leon gets caught and I'm trying to escape, being chased by zombies as well at this point, and I go out of the 400 meters. I hit a barrier and I cannot move.
And you can't. Let's say you're in a corridor or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't go out.
I can't leave and escape because Leon is stuck. Which I guess kind of, it's a good thing because it will mean you're actually working together.
Yeah, you're not going to end up just leaving.
Yeah, you're not going to be like, oh, it's fine. They're a crap player anyway. I'll leave them. But it is like, it seems like they've made it a bit more linear by doing that. Obviously, it's not like linear in that it's forcing you to do stuff. It's more just. It doesn't seem as open world as it.
Yeah, any restrictions they put on you make it seem like you've got less choice.
Yeah, and a lot of people have had like a negative reaction to it, which is totally fair. Like I'm not a big fan of it.
Though I think the positives still massively outweigh the negatives.
Oh, definitely. I think that's one of the only negatives I've had.
The main positive is that the game costs about £20.
It's £27 on release or £35 for the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, it's like even if you pre-order, it's not any cheaper, more expensive.
You get the season pass, all the like DLC and stuff, and £35 when some games are charging 70 odd quid for.
When Shadow of War came out, what was it, like 60 odd
pounds? Yeah, it's like £60. No, sorry, it's like £50 on normal release, or like £70 or £80 for like Ultimate Editions.
How many dollars is that? More dollars.
It's more. It's a lot of dollars.
Quite a few dollars.
But yeah, it's just obviously the positives outweigh the negatives. It's just a bit of a downer because it's such a big.
And it's just something you don't see in a lot of games.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Like, imagine if you were playing something like what was that zombie game that came out? The free running one.
Oh,
Dying Light.
Dying Light, that's it.
Imagine if there was tethering that.
Yeah.
It's such a pain because it's a game about openness.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we could get the game and we could play together, and there can be lots of like content where we're just doing stuff, and we could go, you know what, I can see why they've done it.
But it's always going to be in the back of your mind.
It will always be there that, oh wait, is Leon close? Because what if I need to get back like quickly and I can't?
You just worry about it all the time and it sticks there.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Hopefully, like maybe a month into the game's release, they'll be like, Oh,
can
we've
edit
we've
it when
we've
you-
changed it. You can go wherever you want. I can't see it happening, but maybe within the foreseeable future of the game they might do it. But obviously the game hasn't come out and we haven't played it, so we can't really judge it just yet.
Something something really small I thought was amazing is because you can kind of change between members of your community and play as different people, and a lot of them have skills which are kind of very fighty, very like this person's a gardener. They're really good if you leave them at home. Is if your character gets killed, let's say zombies attack your base because you're making too much noise, which can actually happen.
That's cool. I like that.
Let's say like you have 3 building projects going on at a time. You have a noise bar. It's like, okay, this is dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing that so I can build this. And
Yeah.
and it's like if you've got generators running or stuff like that. So if you get sieged, and one of your survivors, you're playing as someone and they get killed, and you become another person, you can see your survivor come back as a zombie.
Yeah,
And you kill them and take the bag off them.
That's very
and all
similar
that
to
stuff.
the zombie game that was on the Wii U.
I couldn't play that. Terrifying.
Yeah, in that game you play as one character, and you can get to the very end of the game and die, and you will restart from the start. But it will be from the time that your character has died. So you can go and pick up all your stuff, but the character you've just played as is a zombie, and you can find them. Funny you should talk about Step Decay. I have a question, because you've been into it more than I have.
I've daily been keeping up with videos and everything.
The changing of characters, I'm not a fan of if they have... If I'm playing with you, can I switch characters, like, very quickly?
Okay, so the way it works is, if you're playing solo, let's say you want to switch characters. You can't just press on a menu and turn in someone else. You have to
solo,
go...
I can understand being able to change, so you're helping your community.
Yeah, you have to go to your people. You have to find one of your people and turn into them.
Yeah,
you can't just do it from...
Yeah.
But let's say let's say you're playing State of Decay on solo, and I go, let's play multiplayer. The way it works is, I play as a character, and then I go play multiplayer. My character teleports to your world,
Yeah.
and then I help you out. I can't change to my characters.
But I can change to mine.
can
you change
swap.
to my characters?
No.
Okay.
I can't edit your... Like, I can't start building things in your world.
See, part of me, I can understand it in solo, but when in multiplayer, say for example, so me, Leon, and Leon's girlfriend Nicole are going to play this game where there's 3 of us. Part of me kind of wishes that you can't change, just because, especially in multiplayer where you technically have the community, because there will be people out there who have 4 or 5 people that are willing to play with them.
I think the max people you can get up to is like 10.
Exactly. So
But
10 people.
Normally you'll have your kind of main fighters, like 2 or 3 people who are your...
But I feel like it should be more of like a command thing where you can go up to that person. It gives you like in Skyrim or Fallout, and it gives you some options of what you can say to them. You're like, oh, can you do this for me, or can you do
I think
that?
you can still do that. In the first one, you could kind of go and scavenge this outpost, like go and... I've left some loot there, go and clear it out. I think that'll still be an option, and you can still have... Like, if you leave people at your base, they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got a doctor and you've got an injured person, your doctor will be healing people. If you take your doctor out, they won't be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, they still have jobs to do.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not changing characters as in you're about to get attacked and you're like, oh,
that's... Because I like the idea of you start from scratch and you build up your character, like, I want him to be a fighter, or I want him to be, like, a stay at home and do the gardening and, like craft things and
really
stuff.
Cool. It's like, let's say you're playing Jim the gardener, whatever.
Yeah.
He goes out and he maxes up his fighting skill. That's because you've got kind of like 5 stars, and you get gold star in each one, and then that's it for him. He can't specialise because he's not a fighter. If you've got someone who's a military trained person, they get 5 stars. They then specialise. They could go to... I want to be really good at hand-to-hand fighting. I really want to be good at like running away or stuff like that. It's like you can specialise, but not every character will be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad it's like, say I'm like, no, I'm going to be like a crafty person. I'm going to stay at the base and stuff. I can imagine people are going to take advantage of, right, well, there's a zombie coming. I'm going to go quickly find the fighter and switch into them.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're not doing the whole, well, at least I think so. Say I do train up to be a fighter, I can't all of a sudden just be like, no, now I'm really good at crafting and gardening and stuff.
It's more to do with who your character was before the apocalypse. It's like, I was a mechanic before, so I'm gonna, like, I get morale boosts if you get this building, and I get, like, if you build a mechanic's shop, I'll be really happy, and if you do that, I can add to it.
Yeah.
But something else that's really cool is, probably my favourite feature so far, is leaders and heroes. So let's say you've got a new person. They're kind of crap. They have their traits. Maybe they are really funny, so they build up morale generally. But if they were a mechanic beforehand, when they get to hero, they can kind of... It's about them becoming like a proper part of your community, and then they get extra bonuses. And then you can, of all your heroes, you can choose one to kind of vote in as the leader. And you've got things like, oh, I voted this person in, they've got the Warlord trait, which means that when they become a leader, we gain access to like a higher level armory, and we gain access to like watchtowers that never run out of ammo. Like every day we gain more ammo. Stuff like that is kind of it's nice that your community is your community.
Yeah.
It evolves and things happen in the way you make them happen.
I do other than like the tethering thing and the being able to switch characters, the only other problem I have with it is I like that your character can come into my game, but I don't like the fact that your character could be very OP and come into my game and finish it for me.
This is the thing. Someone did do a thing where they were saying, like, if your character's got the blood plague, and that kind of means in the second game that's a new thing where if you get the blood plague, if you get bitten by blood plague zombies, which are a kind of special zombie, enough times a timer starts, and if you don't treat yourself with the cure, which you have to go out and make, then you die. Or if you leave them in your base to turn, then they're going to attack your people, or you can shoot them in the head, and that kind of morale goes down, but they're not going to attack you. Or you can make the cure. You could just send them out. But what was I saying before this?
Your character being able to come into mine and be really OP and finish it.
If you've got the blood plague and you haven't got any of the things you need to make a cure, I could just go into someone else's game and pick up the cure. Like, they'd have to give it to me.
Yeah.
But
I just think, because I know how excited you are for this game, so I know you're definitely going to play it more than I am at first.
Oh yeah.
Which is totally fair. That's cool.
I still think you're going to love it.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. But I think multiplayer should be completely separate to single player. So like, because say for example the game comes out, you've got the Ultimate Edition, so you get it a couple of days before the actual release.
Yeah, 4 days.
You play it for 4 days straight. You get really
just
good
before exams.
Yeah, really, really good. I get the game, you come into my game, and you are just... They did it in Dead Island. Dead Island did the same thing.
You've got like the electric...
Yeah, and it's like...
thing. It's ridiculous.
It's just not as fun because you don't build up
there's
together.
There's not the same risk between you both. It's like you go first because you can do it.
Yeah, whereas...
It's an easy level.
I feel like if they were like, right, multiplayer, you both start from scratch. Maybe they have like a different start than the solo one, where it's like you know each other from before the apocalypse, and then... you start together, there's more of that sort of bond between the players. Whereas when it is like, you come in and you're really good, and I've just started...
What I'm going to have to do is, if we're playing multiplayer, because I know you're worried about that, I'll just get one of my newer people.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get rid of all their gear and come into a game.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll just have different save slots.
Yeah. I don't know why lots of games don't do that anymore.
Like, because then you can have your solo character and your solo game, and then you can go into... a different one, which is just your multiplayer one. You can load that one up before you join me, and then we're kind of in the same position.
But I just love that there's no linear plot. It's like it's not about just having a story. There's not a timer. You have to do things.
Yeah.
It's just like do what you want with characters who no one else will have. And another really cool thing they did is one day they invited people in to come and get their faces scanned, because instead of just creating faces like with animation and all that. Yeah.
Which would have taken a lot more time.
Yeah, they scanned real people's faces. So you look at some of the faces, and they're incredibly detailed. They're faces that you're like, wow, that's a real human being.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because of things like that, and the traits, and like, oh, this guy coughs a lot. Like, you'll be running around, and he's got asthma, he'll start coughing, and that makes noise. And like, they get their own personalities.
But it's like, I love things like that, where it's like, a game is so realistic that you don't pick up. I like to be able to notice the little details, but sometimes I just forget, because a game can be so realistic, and you'll sit there and you're like, oh my god, like that's a thing. Like, look at, he's got like, say for example, a guy's eyebrow in a game, and as the eyebrow goes out, the hairs become more sparse.
Yeah.
And you don't really notice it at first, because it's like, oh, it's just a person. But then you actually look closer to them, and you're like, oh my god, like that's a detailed person. Like,
I love, like, one thing I love is when games have really good idle animations.
Yeah.
Like when you're stood still and someone will be like, check their watch.
Yeah,
or
just looking around and...
Just do normal human
Yeah.
things. And you're suddenly like, oh my god, this is like a person.
Yeah.
But with State of Decay 2, they really wanted to create... I feel like I should be advertising for
Yeah,
them.
you should.
If you're listening to this, Undead Labs, then I will work for you.
Send us the games, we'll play it for you.
Well, don't send us because I've already pre-ordered it.
No, send me a game.
But yeah, no, it's like they've put so much effort into making your characters realistic that when they die, you get sad. Like, you really, really want them to stay alive, and it's. I love games that really get you invested
Immersed,
like that.
yeah. I feel like one final point to finish State of Decay 2 challenge.
We've been going on this for a while.
Is Leon sent me a gameplay like trailer video thing, so I watched it, and my favorite part about the entire trailer was they're all standing on a wall in their base, and they've all got guns. Mm-hmm. One of them has a grenade launcher, one has a sniper, and the zombies are all walking up to the wall, and one of the guys goes, aim for the head, and the person with the grenade launcher shoots. And I watched it and I was like, hang on a second.
Firstly, you
cheated.
did not aim for the head, and secondly, it doesn't matter.
No, you're going to kill them anyway.
But like, remember in that scene they had that fat zombie?
Yeah.
The Juggernaut. I watched a thing where someone's like playing, like this was a demo, like they were videoing it for IGN or something.
Yeah.
And they're running around and one of these Juggernauts gets them. And this is not scripted or anything, it's not meant to happen. Juggernaut picks them up, tears them in half.
Jesus.
Like, and the animations. And the guy who was playing it was like, because obviously he was doing it for a video, but he was like, oh shit, like, oh no. That was like one of my favourite characters.
Yeah.
And you can see him like, oh god.
Yeah.
Like, he completely forgets he's being filmed. He's like, oh my god, what? How are the others going to take this?
I think if I ever made a zombie game, and it might just be me who likes this, if I ever made a zombie game, I wouldn't have different classes of zombies. I would just have bog standard.
I don't really like different classes.
It's like
of zombies.
Left 4 Dead is kind of fun because it's like an arcadey type of game where you
don't take it seriously.
No.
Like,
but in like a game like this, and I feel like The Walking Dead does it very well. Because I think the only different zombie they've had was the spiky zombie, and that's just because it has been stabbed lots of times.
That's realistic. That could happen.
Like. And yeah, I feel like I would just have normal zombies because, you know, you could be like this really OP character and you can wipe out all the zombies. However, there is still that slim chance that, you know, you could still die. Whereas when you see like a Juggernaut zombie or like say for in Left 4 Dead like a boomer, you can die. Like it's not like anything.
I think the thing is, they should make hordes of zombies scary. Like
they
shouldn't have to use things like Juggernauts.
And that's the thing, and especially
ones.
when you like you compare it to like these other zombies, you see the standard ones and you're just like, but it's not the other one. Like it's not as scary. Whereas if you just had them all the same, like that's a zombie.
If there were a lot of zombies, you'd be like, oh shit. And
I
think State of Decay zombies run.
Yeah,
I like the idea of blood plague zombies.
They're cool.
Like,
they're cool.
And the thing is, you've got to
Well, that's the thing that could happen is like you do get like maybe radioactive zombies that can give you different diseases. Not like
that makes sense. Like, why was this guy in particular? Was he just really fat? That's why.
Yeah, is that why he can explode and spew on people? Like,
was this person a really good jumper, which is why they turned into like a hunter?
Yeah, like, I do feel like they should do it on the size of the hordes rather than what they can like, you know, their abilities. Right, just have like, you know, you can have a big group of them, but they're all just separated, or you can have, you know, a really huge group of like 100 zombies all together charging, or you could have 50 or 10, like. You know, you don't know. It's just random, and you can encounter them.
I've been so worried watching all the trailers and stuff because I don't know if you remember my Dragon Age Inquisition when I got very excited for that, but when that came out, it wasn't as good as the trailers made it out to be. Like the customization of castle, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still probably my favourite game ever.
Yeah.
But I'm just, part of me is very sceptical. Like I don't want to watch any more stuff just so I don't get too hyped.
Yeah, Watch Dogs did that for me. The very first Watch Dogs game. I haven't played Watch Dogs 2, but the first Watch Dogs, me and my friend were like, we're going to smash this game out. You can hack everything and do whatever you want. And you got in and you were like...
It's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, and you're like, no, you literally can do 4 things maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, enough of State of Decay 2. Next topic.
Never enough.
So I feel like we should start with this one here, then go up to that one, and then finish on that one.
Yeah, so bottom, top, middle.
Bottom, top, middle, right, okay. Sorry, this was us pointing out our list. This is, I don't know how long this chat's going to go on for.
Probably quite a short one, just because I was excited about it.
Liam was excited, and I have an opinion of it, like most things. Venom, the Venom movie.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
I love me a bit of Tom Hardy.
The first trailer came out, and everyone was like, "There's no Venom. Why are you not showing Venom?"
Yeah, but that's because it's the Venom movie.
yeah.
They wanted to kind of hide it a bit.
Yeah.
New one came out, and it's
and they have Venom in it. But before, in the middle of these two trailers, there was like a leak. Supposedly, I'm doing the rabbit ears with my fingers. That Venom only appears in the last 2 minutes of the film, and I don't believe it.
no way.
But I was watching a
That would be so
video
ridiculous.
on the trailer, because in the trailer, you have like Tom Hardy being Tom Hardy, and then the final shot of the trailer is Venom like appearing and killing a guy, and it's very cool. And there was a video that was like, that could be the last shot of the film. That could be the very first and last time you see Venom.
I agree that would be awful, but I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No, they're definitely going to. It's obviously they did it with Godzilla, where it was the whole film and they had Godzilla in it for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, especially Marvel. Marvel's a good company when they come to
showing
films.
their cool animations and their cool graphics and stuff.
The very first trailer for a film needs to be, here's the visual effects. This is what it's going to look like. This is kind of what a character is going to be like. But not show anything. Then you have the hype of, oh my god, that looks cool. That character looks interesting. Yeah. Then the second trailer, because you have so much hype around the first one, that's when you go, okay, so this is what's going to happen in the film.
That's what annoyed me so much about Thor Ragnarok. The trailers.
The trailer showed way too much.
I feel like I know the story already.
And then if you have like a third trailer, it's just showing a bit more stuff mixed with the old stuff.
Yeah.
And what they did with the first one, the very first trailer of Venom, was they showed a lot of Tom Hardy's character. I think the character's name's Eddie Brock, and for some reason I keep wanting to call him Brock Lesnar, and it's not him.
No, it's definitely not Brock Lesnar.
And basically it's just him going around, and there's a shot of him like with black veins, and it's like, wow, like that's really tense. I can't wait to see the next trailer to see maybe if they show Venom.
They did that. They did a third one which is very Venom oriented.
Oh really?
Yeah, I feel like that was a few days ago.
Oh okay. But anyway, yeah, so, and, that trailer did a good job. But because people are idiots, they just didn't understand that what they're doing is building tension. They didn't have to show Venom in any of the trailers, and then you could go into the film going, I have no idea. And honestly, I prefer that. If they were like, we're not going to show Venom.
That's the thing, I hate trailers, but I also love trailers. Like,
yeah,
I wish I could watch a trailer and then be like, that's great, I really want to see that, and forget the entire thing apart from wanting to go and see it.
Like, I guess you could kind of say Rogue One did it okay, where good
voice break.
I think the first trailer was like, yeah, these are the characters, this is what's happening. Second trailer was, these are the characters, this is the story, and the very final shot of the trailer was the back of Darth Vader's head, and it was like,
yeah, that was like,
that was a cool
you didn't
moment.
know how much Darth Vader was going to be in it.
Yeah, you was like, is he going to be like the main villain? Is he going to be like in a scene?
You didn't really have a massive idea about the plot, but you knew that it contained things you wanted to see.
And because they didn't show a lot of Vader, you went into the film going, when am I going to see him? Is he going to be like the original Vader? Is he going to look like Episode 3 Vader, which was a bit
quite
weird?
early, didn't he?
No, he came in about
scene.
Yeah, he came in about halfway through the film, had a scene, then was at the very end of the film, had a scene, and then had the most badass scene, I think, in the entire of Star Wars. I don't think...
But that was at the end, wasn't it, the airlock?
Yeah, when he goes to get the plans and he wipes everyone out.
Of course
and that was the start of Episode 4. But yeah, those trailers did it well. Force Awakens, I think, did it extremely well.
I can't even remember the trailer for Force Awakens.
The very first thing was a teaser. They showed Finn, they showed Rey,
he popped his head up, and
they showed Poe,
desert,
and they showed the Millennium Falcon, and that was it. The second trailer was... They showed all the new characters, which I thought was brilliant. That's because you want them to know it's not about the old characters.
Yeah.
The very final shot was Han and Chewie coming into the Millennium Falcon, going, "Chewie, we're home."
That was a good scene.
That was like, oh my god, Han Solo's in it. So the third trailer was, they showed Han, they showed all the new people. There was no, you didn't see Leia, you didn't see Luke, obviously, because Luke was only in one bit. But you went into the film and you didn't know what the plot was. You didn't really know who any of the characters were. You had an idea. And when it all happened, you were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Venom has done the complete opposite, but works, which is, we're not going to show much of Venom, which is cool, because then you go in, you don't know what to expect with Venom. And then, yeah, it just got a lot of backlash. But I'm not that excited for the film.
I'm definitely going to see it. I mean, just because I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I don't really do Marvel, but...
I'm not interested, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. It's not that I don't care for it. I'm not interested. It doesn't look great.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
I probably will be, but I'm with other Marvel films like the X-Men, like the Fantastic Four film. because you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if they're not part of it, I don't particularly care because
I don't even follow who is part of it. Is
Yeah,
Venom part of it?
no, this is the thing.
Why
They
not?
have a Spider-Man film and they've done a Venom film, but they're not in the same universe, and it's really frustrating.
It's ridiculous. Because
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
It's like doing Green Goblin on his own. Oh, what?
Oh my god, my phone. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. I think the only one I'd like that is part of Marvel but isn't the MCU is Deadpool, but that's only because I like
Is
Deadpool.
Deadpool not part of... Yeah, but that means that the X-Men's not as
Yeah,
well.
the X-Men aren't part of it either.
Well, that's ridiculous.
So you have the Avengers, but the X-Men are on their own thing that aren't even part of that universe. But Marvel bought Fox, so hopefully we'll get the X-Men in the MCU soon.
I don't even know anymore.
I'm going to write you a list of all the films, and you have to watch all of them.
It's all of them at the moment. I need to watch.
I think there's
Justice
18.
League,
Oh, yeah, Justice
all
League's
the Marvel
not
movies.
great.
Oh, whatever, Kai. I'm definitely watching it. There's nothing you can say that's going to stop me from watching it.
Well, it's not very good, I guess. Right, next topic after Venom. Sorry if there was a random edit there. I had to go and do something for my mother because she called me. So, Solo, a Star Wars story. Solo.
Very exciting. Let's wait for the trailers. I haven't actually watched any of the
Have you
trailers
not?
yet.
The trailers are good.
Oh wait, no, because he didn't look like Han Solo. We had this conversation.
We had this
before.
discussion. I was not excited. Then the first trailer come out, and I was like, actually, you know what? Looks all right. Then the second trailer come out, and now I'm very, very excited.
So because you're quite the old Han Solo fan.
I am.
So I'm glad that if you think it's going to be good, then
This is the thing. At first I was very much like, doesn't look like Han Solo. It's going to be so hard to get into it. Whereas now I'm like, you know what? I can watch it, and I've convinced myself that this guy's Han Solo. I just sort of have to do that. The same as Donald Glover, who plays Lando. You're going to have to, obviously, everyone likes him because they say he looks like Lando, he acts like Lando, so cool. I'm going to have to convince myself that guy's Lando.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to be like, oh my god, that's Lando.
yeah,
And
you're not going to be like, oh, that's
I'm not,
that's,
yeah, and I'm not going to go in and go, that guy was exactly Harrison Ford. But I'm excited to see the guy play Han Solo.
You're going to go, this is the guy who I'm meant to think looks like this
And
person.
yeah, everyone's going to go in, and there's no way, you're going to be like, that was great. Everything he did was right.
Which I suppose is why the advertising campaign's so good, because from the first trailer, you see him as Han Solo, and then from then on, you're thinking, that's Han Solo, until you actually see the movie.
Yeah, and I'm not as excited as I would be if it was like episode 9 or when I was for episode 7 or 8.
Yeah.
The same as when I was when Rogue One came out. I wasn't as excited as when episode 7 came out.
Even though I thought 8 was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Well, we've had this discussion. We're not having it on here.
No.
But I thought it was a terrible movie, or at least it could have done so much better.
Yeah.
I'm somehow that's made me more excited for 9. So I'm like, maybe they can fix all the things I thought were wrong.
I'm sort of... I like episode 8, but I do agree that there was so much more they could have done. But we won't have this discussion on this podcast. Anyway.
It'll take too long.
Solo, a Star Wars story, Solo. Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. It should be fun. It's a heist movie. My favourite part of all the trailers...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, my favourite part of all the trailers so far was Chewie and Han Solo in the Falcon. And I think because I see the guy next to Chewbacca, I'm like, oh, it's Han Solo. I think that's what it is. But
Does he wear the beige shirt and the waistcoat?
no, he doesn't. He's got like a jacket, and it's quite cool. It's very Han Solo though. It's very Han Solo.
Oh no, that's not Han Solo.
And Han Solo's flying the Millennium Falcon, and Chewbacca's like behind him flicking switches. And Han Solo's like, how do you know how to fly this thing? And Chewbacca roars. And he goes, you're 190 years old? You look great. And like, it's just... It was Han Solo. Like,
Yeah, it's a very Han Solo moment.
It's a Han Solo moment, but it also just the way he said it. It was like, I mean, obviously in the trailer it might be a bit different because there was like, it was the very final bit. So it was like the build-up of music that happened, and they might have edited it a bit differently to how it is in the film. But the timing was great. I loved it. It was a really good moment.
Well, I'm interested to see what young Chewbacca looks like.
You see him and stuff. It looks like Chewbacca, but you can see that he's not as... I think he's a bit lighter, like in colour. He's like episode 3 Chewbacca.
Do we know how they got the Millennium Falcon?
Well, so far we can assume that he won. No, he won it off of Lando. We know that, but we don't actually know how.
How did Lando get it?
This is Well, hopefully we'll find all this out. I hope it's not just one big mashup of. This is a story we've had about Han Solo, and this is a story. Let's all have it happen in the same week. Like, I'd like it if they were like, this is how we got the Millennium Falcon, and he does a heist. That would be cool. Not, this is how we got the Millennium Falcon. This is how we got his shirt. This is how we got his gun. This is how we met Chewbacca.
This is how he got his shirt.
Yeah, like
Han Solo's famous shirt.
Well, they did it in Pirates of the Caribbean. In Pirates of the Caribbean 5, they have a flashback where how Jack Sparrow killed like the main villain of the film, and it was like, whoa, that's cool.
Oh,
and then
Salazar?
Yeah, and then at the very end of the scene, he finds a compass, a sword, his hat, and all of his clothes, and they miraculously fit about 40 years afterwards.
Yeah, no, like the compass, I never got that. It's like
No.
he just kind of came across it, and it was magic.
Yeah.
Conveniently, was exactly what he needed in every movie.
Yeah. But you know, I'm excited for Solo. It does look really good. I take back everything I've said about it and how I'm not excited for it, because honestly, I am quite excited for it. So, yeah.
Oh, this last one, I know very little about this.
Well, I mean, there's not much of it about, really. So
Great topic for the end that we've chosen here.
well, I just wanted to sort of discuss just ideas for it, because okay, what we're going to talk about is the Lord of the Rings TV series that they're going to do, the Amazon one. You're a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, I'm massive.
I hate to say it, but I think I'm a bigger fan of Lord of the Rings than you are.
Oh, definitely. I would. I love Lord of the Rings. I've read the books. I've read The Hobbit. I've watched all the films. I think if I ever had to do a marathon of something, I would probably do Lord of the Rings, just because they are very good films and they're very immersive, and you could sit down and watch all 12 hours of it, and it would feel like a couple of minutes. Like it's really good.
Play Shadow of War though, because otherwise you're not a real Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah. But yeah, Leon's definitely a bigger fan. And Amazon announced, I think in December, they're doing a Lord of the Rings TV show, which I think is a really cool idea.
I'm so skeptical of things like this, because I think nowadays you've got to be, because like the Witcher TV series is coming out for Netflix, and I don't know. I'm just very worried it's going to be what everyone wants, not what they should do.
Everybody's going to compare it to the film. There's no doubt. Everyone's going to be like, this isn't like the film.
Yeah, but it's never going to be like the film.
But the film had a very specific, you have 2.5 hours for the theatrical release, and then 3.5 hours for the extended edition to tell the entire Lord of the Rings, which is like a 1,000-page book.
Stupid world that he's written.
And yeah, they're
not stupid, stupidly big.
Yeah. There's so much to it that are in the books that you wouldn't be able to put into the film.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have a TV series, which is, yes, it's still you have 12 episodes, each one's like an hour long, for example.
Yeah.
That's 12 hours, right, for one series, which is the whole film series in one series, right?
Yeah.
So the very first series of the TV show could be before Lord of the Rings even happened.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of, it's not, say they call it Lord of the Rings, but maybe the very last like couple of series of the show is Lord of the Rings, but everything, say they run for 7 series.
Yeah.
5, 6, and 7 are Lord of the Rings. Everything before that is The Hobbit, maybe the Silmarillion's in it, and you can. I feel like they have so much more time to show things and like tell you stuff.
Yeah.
So then, there's so much in the books that you could show, and you'll never get all of it in, obviously.
I'm just worried that it's going to be like, The Hobbit had its own kind of style of humour, and it was very definitely different from Lord of the Rings. I'm worried it's all going to be like that.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that people are going to be okay with that, because it's like, I think a lot of people who have only seen The Hobbit, because they didn't kind of watch The Lord of the Rings, I think they're going to have seen The Hobbit and go, oh, I want the TV series to be like that.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fan service to do that, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I am excited for it.
I'll certainly watch it again.
It's going to be difficult for the people making it, because I feel like, let's say Peter Jackson
Percy Jackson is making the movie.
Yeah, he's the locations, the costumes, the characters, they were all spot on. You literally could not do any better than that. So it will be interesting to see if they go differently, or if they'll just do the same sort of thing but just tell the story differently. My main concern with it is they're going to 2018 it and have Frodo Baggins be a female.
Oh
or
god, yeah, something like
maybe like Aragorn is the Queen of Gondor. I'm
not everything like 2018 is men becoming women.
No, but I don't have a problem with this. Doctor Who I love. I think Jodie Whittaker will be really good.
But it's the reasoning behind it. Like, obviously neither of us have any issue with the transgender community or anything like that. Or any, but it's just it seems like 2018 is trying to do things for the sake of doing things.
And
it's like, we'll get shock for this.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing it.
They'll make Frodo a woman because why not? We'll make him a woman.
Yeah. And then if you argue against that, it's like, well,
but it's part of Lord of the Rings is such. The characters are all there for a reason, and the way they are is there for a reason. I guess the only characters you could make differently are the hobbits.
Well, it's like you could kind of, with characters that are in the books that you haven't. Tom Bombadil,
you could
could be female. Weird that we both thought of Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
because he's a great character.
But things like I'm pretty sure it's Lord of the Rings, isn't it, where they have the very specific men have to be kings. You don't have queens or anything because you have
you have
Eowyn, sorry,
Yeah.
and she's like, I am no man, takes off her helmet, kills the ring. That's such a cool moment because it's like, wow, she's the woman, go women and stuff.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense if Legolas was a female and doing all the cool things because you're like, well, I've seen Legolas do it.
I think they should stick to the roots of the Lord of the Rings, not stick to the roots of the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Because the Lord of the Rings was just better.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Hobbit, it's subjective, but
yeah.
Lord of the Rings was better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, you have to watch the TV show to find out. But if they make the whole cast female, then that's it's cool.
Fine, yeah,
you'll
that,
watch it, but don't do it for the sake of we're going to make them female because
reasons, if you can come up with a plot reason.
Yeah, if you're like,
doing
this is a thing.
But otherwise, don't just do it because you can.
Yeah, I think Doctor Who is a good example of. I think they've done it because you can, but I do think Jodie Whittaker is a good actress, so that's fair.
Yeah, no, because we saw her in?
Antigone. She did a play in Antigone, but they're doing a new Oceans film, like Oceans 11. Do you know the heist? Yeah. But they're all female. Oh. I think that's a cool idea because in the first one they were all men. Yeah. I think apart from like Oceans 12.
Ghostbusters, like, fine, it's loosely based on
you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that because it's just the Ghostbusters. It's not like a trilogy that has this iconic following. It's the Ghostbusters. It's not going to be. No one's going to.
And it's not going to fit. It's not going to go against the world. If Ocean's 11, you can have.
It's not like you can only have male Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I feel like in Lord of the Rings, the genders are very specific because of the world that they're in. Not because J.R.R. Tolkien was a sexist or like maybe like a racist or something.
He might have been.
He might have been a racist.
Would make sense at the time.
Yeah. But the world he created, that's just how it is. And I feel like going against that kind of goes against the law of the books. But unless you have like you can explain it differently, then it could still be a good idea.
If you can come up with the plot reason, how it happens, then fine, do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, don't change anything that's already set in stone.
Yeah, it's because you will ruin specific moments, like when Eowyn's like, I am no man. You'll ruin that moment because you'll go, well, I've just seen it for the last 4 series.
Like Boromir came back to life, it's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's dead. We watched it happen.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. It should be fun. It should be a good adventure. And hopefully, they take their time with it. I don't want them to like cram everything into one series. I want them to spread it out so you get lots of information and you learn lots of different stuff.
Yeah, I really want it to be a source of lore for all the things you don't see in the movie.
Yeah, so like maybe one of the at the end of one episode, Gandalf says, "Oh, this is what happened to this thing," and then the very next episode is a whole hour of something that has maybe nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, but is in that world and has like a slight connection to the ring.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh,
and that means we've run out of time.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our first When Two Nerds Make a Podcast.
I think it went quite well. Time flew.
Time flew by when you're having food.
So what? There you go. I had to ruin it. We were doing so well with a proper conversation about actual things, and then food. The word food.
Yeah, right. So if you enjoyed this, let us know if you're still here.
Subscribe and
like if you're new,
and like to see more content.
But yeah, if you enjoy this, let us know, and we'll try and make some more. Hopefully next time we might have a couple more people with us, maybe discuss some stuff.
Well, we can. I think now this has kind of been an introduction. We can go over some things like this, but also I think we can have a main topic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we just wanted to have like a little. You hear us talk about lots of different stuff, whereas maybe next week we'll be like just focused on Doctor Who or Star Wars or Walking Dead, and
hopefully not Doctor Who because I know nothing about
that'd be awkward. But yeah, we'll see you soon in the next podcast.
Well, we won't see you, but
we'll hear you. We won't hear you soon. You'll hear us soon. Yeah, right. Thank you for watching it or listening. Oh god, this is so confusing. I'm not used to doing this.
We failed.
All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Goodbye.